All right, Stokastic, here we go. It's your old pal EMAC coming to you on a Sunday, early afternoon, already 2 MLB games underway, as Sundays have gotten pretty crazy in the MLB. The Roku game starting between usually 12:05. For some reason, Tampa is playing a really early game today as well, but we have plenty of action, a festive 6-game slate on DraftKings, 7 on FanDuel, and then 5 afternoon games, all taking place in the state of California. This is going to be a fun one, Matt. Did you win all the monies last night? You did get your home run call, correct?
I did, but I did not because I didn't play enough Cubs. So we move on to today. That's the great and beautiful thing about DFS.
Absolutely. We have plenty of fun here. I am going to drop in the link. I don't know why people don't join these contests. It makes me very sad. But on FanDuel, they have these leagues, and these leagues have 11% rake instead of 18%. Better payout structure. The only difference is they must fill to run. So I'm going to make sure we get this one filled here because I want to be in it. So jump in. It is a 3 max, $2, 100-person contest. Let's drop that in here, and then let's have some fun. Oh, there we go. All right, pitching. Best pitcher also in the best offensive environment that we have seen. That would be Logan Gilbert. Little terrifying to consider him because over the last 2 games, 1-2, that's it. There have been 30 runs scored in Wrigley Field. There have been 12 home runs, 11 other extra base hits, and the wind, once again, in the 12 to 15 mile an hour range, blowing out to center field. Actually, a little lower than what it was yesterday and Friday, but it's still going to be in the mid-90s in Chicago. Matt, that means we're deciding between Logan Gilbert and potentially Chris Bassett, if you think Bassett's got a little dog in him. What do you have here for your pitchers?
Yeah, so tough pitching slate for sure because we don't have great options and there's good hitting weather pretty much everywhere. So slim pickings, that's for sure. I do think the top 2 guys are the guys you mentioned, Bassett and Gilbert. Weird because I think Gilbert is clearly the better pitcher, like undoubtedly the better real life pitcher and fantasy pitcher than Bassett at this moment in time. But the spots, facing this Cubs offense in crazy good hitting weather as opposed to facing the White Sox at home. So, man, like a lot of me thinks that Bassett is going to be like close to 70% owned. And at that point, I think that it's just too high, and I have some interest in the White Sox, but just irregardless of ownership, just putting that aside, I think Bassett is the best pitching option today at 8,500. And then you start talking about Gilbert just because even though the spot's so tricky, like who else are you going to? So I do think Bassett is the top guy. Then there's a few guys you can kind of make the second case for. I think Gilbert is probably mine, but I'm more apt to fade Bassett than I would be a lot of guys in this spot just because combination of things like the ownership is very high and warranted. But I think because the other options just look so bad and because Bassett's price is so good, I really think we could see him be upwards of 60, close to 70% in small field stuff. And at that point, I think you're at least thinking about wanting to fade him. So tricky pitching slate. That's what I have.
Yeah, it definitely is. So digging a little bit deeper there into Gilbert, remember he suffered forearm discomfort. Fortunately, it ended up being just that, nothing more serious with his elbow. So he returned to the show on the 16th through 84 pitches. He had ramped up across 3 AAA starts, going from 45 to 60 to 72, and then making it to the 84 pitches. As I just mentioned, the tough part is he's going against one of the best offenses in the league and also a ridiculous offensive environment. So that makes him he'd be a difficult pitcher to click on anyway. but it makes it tougher because of all those variables going against him. He does have good strikeouts, made his first all-star game last year. Since the start of last year, he has a 29% strikeout rate. Most importantly, a 46% ground ball rate, which is going to be something that he needs to hopefully lean into in this matchup in order to survive. He does have an elevated line drive rate, but his fly balls are actually a little below normal. So this is what all has him conspiring or working together to have him being a strong frontline starter. If we look at Bassett from more than just his surface numbers here, he's going against the second worst offense in the league. Okay, we definitely like that. He doesn't give a lot of strikeouts or doesn't collect a lot of strikeouts, just a 22% strikeout rate across his last 1,100 batters. We know what we're getting. He's 36 now. He's always been more of a run prevention guy than a strikeout artiste, but he gets just this dreamy matchup. So those are the two things that we're looking at here. The rest of the field, they're going to have the same assessment as we do, and there's no surprise there. And we can see that here in the tools with showing DraftKings right now. Bassett on close to half of all lineups, Gilbert on almost 40%. Then we get into some guys we can sprinkle across our lineups here. Next guy up is probably Bryce Elder. The concerns with Elder are after he made the All-Star team in 2023, he's bounced back and forth between AAA and the show each of the last 2 seasons. He just hasn't quite been able to stick. He doesn't really profile as a reliever, so it's harder for Atlanta to keep him in the bullpen because they want him stretched out more as a starter. But until there's injuries, which there have been quite a few last year and with Strider, and then again this year, and Chris Sale just went on the injured list with a fractured left rib cage. So that's what has Elder up here. If we go look at his minor league numbers, they're nothing special still. So he sort of had his career year early, and he's deservedly is a back of the rotation starter, but he gets to go against Miami. So semi-appealing matchup here with Miami. They don't bring a lot of strikeouts to the plate. They don't bring a lot of power either. It's sort of a patchwork type offense, as we mentioned yesterday, with 2 or 3 well-rounded hitters, and then everybody else has one good attribute of the 3 you look for in hitters. So it's a lineup we can kind of attack. Is Elder your next guy here in line? And are you building your usual 3 to 4 lineups today?
I'm playing 3 lineups. And
I thought you'd scale back since the slate's a little scaled back, but I'm guessing you're definitely playing this afternoon as well.
I think I might have to do some family stuff this afternoon, so that's not for sure. But if that doesn't pan out, then I will play. We'll see.
It's a Bellman slate. 5 games going on at once.
The contests aren't great, though. The contests are pretty weak. I wish they had better contests considering the day is like kind of split in half, but it is what it is. I might play a little bit. I don't like Elder that much. Like, I think he's fine here, and I like him more than I did the last slate he was on because he was uber popular against the Rockies for good reason. Now he's just a play. On a slate without good pitching options at 8,100 in Miami, I'm fine with it. It doesn't like stand out to me, but I'm fine with it. And he will be a lot less owned than Bassett. So do I love it? No. On this slate, do I think it's fine? Yeah.
All right. Someone was asking me who are the 3 pitchers. I think they're looking for 3 hitters. They're looking for leverage there against Elder. The 3 hitters you want to go to is going to be Jesus Sanchez, Kelly Stowers. They're both lefties, outfielders. They have solid contact, power, and decent walk rates. Stowers does strike out a fair amount, but it's a decent trade-off for his. He has the best power numbers. And then it's probably Liam Hicks. So these guys aren't particularly close together in the lineup, but you're really looking at them as a secondary stack anyway, a complementary stack with another grouping there, probably Seattle, or if you are on FanDuel, then maybe it's going to be someone from Arizona. Keep in mind that the Coors Field Extravaganza is on the slate for the blue site. Yahoo, they launched their main slate at 11:35 this morning with the first game. So bad. So bad. Tell me you want to ruin your DFS product without actually telling me that. Talk to me about Andrew Abbott. Lot of buzz for him, a lot of positive things. I didn't go look. I'm going to go look at the numbers now. I've read something saying he was a potential Cy Young candidate. That can't be the case. Am I not understanding the seemingly overnight improvement here that's occurred with Andrew Abbott?
Yeah, he's been phenomenal this year. Tough spot for him in St. Louis against a lineup that doesn't strike out. Obviously they've got a bunch of righties to go up against him. I do think he falls through the cracks a bit, though. We're projecting him to be 19% owned. I could see that a little bit lower. And hey, I think he's the second best overall pitcher on the slate right now behind Gilbert. It's not an easy spot. Like, the weather's really good there too. On a lot of slates, I don't think he'd be a good play, but on this one, especially not getting a ton of ownership, he's intriguing to me, if nothing else. I'm not sure I get there, but I'm intrigued.
All right. 12th best odds, according to Hard Rock. So we shall see. Yeah. I always say the same thing about him. You want to check Twitter? Phoenix Suns are trading two-time NBA. Wait, the Suns are trading the NBA Finals MVP. Okay, Suns are trading Durant to the Rockets for Jalen Green, Dylan Brooks, the 10th overall pick in the upcoming draft, and 5 second-round picks. That is per Shams Charania. That just came out. I'm going to put that into chat for you guys to see. Hey, look at that. NBA. Best day of the NBA season today, and now we've got a trade news to talk about.
Man, I hate that Jalen Green, Devin Booker pairing, but we'll see what happens.
The Olay defense, you're not looking forward to that, fighting over the ball. Your turn, my turn. That's how this is going to play out. In any event, there we go. On a basketball note, then we'll get back to baseball. Josh Engelman did do the NBA strategy show this morning. That is on this very YouTube channel, recorded. It is also out on the podcast feed. Yes, Stokastic has a podcast feed with the majority of our content going out on it. That is not the live before locks. And then tonight at 7:30, Josh will be back to break down any potential lineup changes. There's always something that OKC could throw out here in Game 7. And it is an 8 o'clock tip-off since it is Sunday. Okay, back to baseball here. Let's see. Jack Leiter apparently was tipping pitches. And I don't know. He said he changed some stuff with his glove. That really didn't help him in the last start. Who knows? Sandy Alcantara has been no bueno since his Cy Young season a couple years ago. David Festa is definitely hit or miss. Probably among the rest of our guys has the best potential talent, but he really shapes up as a mid-rotation starter. What else do you see here amongst our handful of also-rans?
Yeah, so it's one guy for me, and I'll keep going back here. He's shown signs of life, and the underlyings are not bad. Sandy Alcantara on a slate without good pitching options, under 7K, in the best pitching park on the slate, not getting ownership, or a lot of it at least. I mean, he's going to be 17% owned, the 5th highest owned pitcher on the slate projected. Yeah, give me Sandy here. It's risky. Atlanta's good. Their team total's high, but he's just better than this price tag, and I'll pay to see it on a slate without good pitching options. Like, for my money, I don't know where he ranks as far as the top pitchers on the slate right now. It's such a weird case, but I think his talent-wise is still right up there, towards the top at least. So if he's got his A stuff today, I think he's way too cheap at 6,900. Certainly a lot of risk, but I think you're getting that with every pitcher on the slate.
Fair enough. What is also pretty fair, pretty favorable, and pretty cool is the chance you guys have to try out the free, yes, that is free Portfolio EV product here. Let me put that up. That is available in the YouTube link in the description, YouTube description below us, there's a link that will get you 7-day free trial of Portfolio EV. If you guys are watching Twitter, you can see that Greg Ehrenberg and Nathan Joyce have been putting out bankroll challenges. Each have turned $100 into well over 1,000. Greg is they're racing for 2,000, which is not too shabby. They've done that in about 6 months, 7 months. So not too bad at all. We also have Lofty and Josh posting a lot of Twitter content that can help you with how to use boosters across the various sites. Lofty and Aton are doing shows throughout the day that tell you how to use the tools, and they'll even help you look up wagers if you want while they are on stream. So check that out. That is the Portfolio EV tool. All right. Well, I want to mention Festa, so let me pull up some numbers here. Let's see what his strikeout rate is currently. Also going to be hot in Minnesota. We have Festa, it's only 74 hitters that he's faced, but he has almost a 30% strikeout rate. His slim 184 total hitters that he's faced in the show over the last 2 years. He has almost a 30% strikeout rate as well. He gets to go against the Brewers. Christian Yelich has just not been very good. Oops, why is that not pulling a Festa? Are they putting an opener in front of him?
Yeah, I think he's long reliever today. I think Columb is starting.
Sorry, I had my filters on the wrong. 25 to 27% strikeout rate still holds true. Sample size is up to 392. So if we look at the lineup he's going to have to face, decent contact, high WOBA, weighted on base percentage for the top 6-7 hitters. Throw Bryce Terang in there. They have just the 110 ISO. So that is a huge trade-off for power. So I think Festa is kind of interesting. You want to remember that will take him, having an opener takes him out of contention for a quality start on FanDuel. However, he still probably will be the pitcher of record in the 5th inning, which means he would be eligible for the win as long as there's a lead and then the bullpen holds it. Interesting. Okay. Shall we move on over to the game by game portion here and talk some stacks?
Let's do it.
All righty. Going back to the fun here, Texas and Pittsburgh. So didn't mention them as the pitchers. Not really excited about them as the hitters here. We do have Jack Leiter, but come on, Pittsburgh Pirates. They're not that exciting when we look at all these other offensive environments that we have on the slate. And then Texas going against Bailey Falter, same thing, struggling lineup throughout most of the season. Corey Seager getting a little bit better now that he has his injuries behind him. Marcus Semien looking good for the last month or so. Adolis Garcia no longer batting at the bottom of the order. He's back into the middle of the lineup here. I guess looking at these lineups, I wouldn't mind these guys as SP2s. I'm just playing on FanDuel for the main slate here today. But how do you see our first of the 6 games on DraftKings?
Yeah, so it's an interesting slate just because, I don't think anything you said was wrong, but really good hitting weather here. These 2 pitchers are not guys we're afraid to pick on. You're just saying that because there's teams like the Mariners and Cubs and the Reds.
They're definitely clouding my judgment. Right now.
And I get it. But man, Texas on the road getting 9 at-bats against Bailey Falter in really hot weather. It's not the greatest ballpark, but I have some interest in Texas here. And then Pittsburgh, I don't know what to make of Jack Leiter right now. He looked to have turned some things around. He changed his glove to prevent tipping pitches. And he's been bad the past 2 starts after I thought he had turned it around. So I'm not playing him, but I'm not going to stack the Pirates here. I might play some Rangers. They're cheap. They've got a ton of power on the right side against Falter. Falter hasn't been horrible, but I think Texas comes in pretty low owned. We're projecting them to be 8.5%, 9% owned. And I could see it being even lower than that with people jamming the Mariners and the Cubs in that Wrigley game. So I have some interest in Texas here.
Okay. If you were going for Texas, which would the key hitters be?
Yeah, probably two through five. Starting to get the band back together there with Langford, Seager, Semien, Garcia. Semien and Garcia have not had great years, but Semien has been awesome for the past month, and Garcia has slowly started to turn things around also. So 2 through 5 for me.
All righty. Continuing along here, we have the Toronto side, or pardon me, the game in Toronto. You have, let me see, Adrian Hauser is going for the White Sox. Toronto sort of been all over the place when it comes to offense. They do not strike out much, but they have limited power as well. We can see that with this year's numbers on their projected lineup, just a 14% strikeout rate against righties, but only a 115 isolated power. That is very, very, very low. God, we can't click on Adrian Hauser as an SP2, can we?
I don't know. I mean, nah.
There's just not enough strikeouts, and Toronto doesn't offer any up. It just seems like a recipe for you're hoping for 12 DraftKings points. And I don't know you get it.
Yeah, I mean, maybe you get 12, but I don't think his ceiling is that much higher than that. So I think you can do better. He's not like dirt cheap either. I mean, he's had a couple of good starts. So if you want to like play off that, sure, but probably not where I'm going to go.
All right. And Eric Lindquist hates him. So if you want to hate against Lindquist, roster Adrian Hauser. On the other side here, we mentioned all the bona fides there for Chris Bassett. Let's talk about potentially stacking against him. Chat mentioned early on that this is one of the highest leverage spots. Andrew Benintendi, Miguel Vargas are probably your two key guys. Kyle Teal would maybe be the other guy, the young catcher who has, I think he only has like 50 plate appearances so far. Do you want to put in a mini leverage stack against Bassett on lineups where you're not playing him?
I kind of do. Yeah. I just think the ownership's going to get so high. I mean, right now we're projecting him to be around 50% owned. I think that's fine. If that's where he lands, I don't want a ton of White Sox, but I'm projecting him to be higher owned. Other places have him higher owned. I've read my tea leaves across the industry, and like, he's going to be really high owned. And we've seen that. Like, we've seen pitchers like Grant Holmes, I think that was last Sunday, was 80% owned in the high dollar stuff. Like, not like 10-man stuff, like 500 field stuff, 80% owned. So Bassett's going to be close, man. Like, you've got a combination of the matchup, really good park or not really good park, but it's not affected by weather as other spots are, and the price tag. So again, I think Bassett looks really good on paper here, but it's not that often in MLB DFS you can, pick on a good but not great pitcher, like average to good pitcher who's going to be 70% owned. And chances are he pitches well here. I like Bassett. I'm going to use some of him, but if it goes wrong here for him, he gives up power to lefties. You talked about a couple of the guys. Teal is a guy I like a lot. He's got a ton of power. Hasn't shown it yet at the major league level, but elite prospect was the big piece of the Garrett Crochet deal. And then the top of their lineup, like Mydroth gets on base. Vargas has been really good this year. Benintendi has been really good against right-handed pitching. Luis Robert actually showing signs of life. I hate him. You know this, but he's got like almost 30 steals or 25.
Does he
steals.
really?
Yeah. I think he's only behind Caballero in steals in the AL. Even when he wasn't hitting at all, he's been running. So if the power can come back, and he homered a couple of nights ago, like, he's still got elite upside, even if he's not going to show it that often. So yeah, man, like, I do like the White Sox here. Bassett's just not good enough to be 70% owned ever. And the White Sox, kind of like the Rockies, have been better over the past month than they were to start the season. And on a small slate, you're certainly fighting the Mariners and Cubs and those other teams in really good offensive spots, but you can play pieces from those teams with the White Sox. The White Sox are also crazy cheap. So yeah, that's my spiel.
All right. 22 stolen bases, one away from his career high, which was set.
I was off, but still, I knew he was in the 20s.
Projecting for 40. That's pretty impressive. I did not see that one. So, all righty. Moving along here, we will talk the afternoon slate as well. We've got Atlanta and Miami here. We mentioned Elder. You covered Alcantara. Atlanta looks good. Acuna, Olsen, Riley, Ozuna, Drake Baldwin. I was so sad because after I saw your home run call come through, I got a notification in one of my Yahoo leagues that Matt Olsen hit a home run. Matt Olsen did not hit a home run yesterday. He was 0 for 4. I'm glad I didn't tweet at you or do something stupid because I was looking at that after the afternoon slate. I'm like, I thought he got it. And I went back and looked at my phone. Yeah, my phone said he got one. Did not get one. Maybe today he will get one. Roof is closed at Marlins Park there. Take us through this game.
Yeah, I'm not on the offenses here. On a lot of slates, I would want to pick on some Marlins against a popular Elder, but he's not popular. Bad ballpark. I like Alcantara. You can make the case for the Braves. They're the Braves. They're really good. But not for me. So for me, this is a total cross-up outside of pitching and probably only Alcantara.
Okay. I'm looking forward to building out some of my lineups to see if it's going to put Elder in there. I will show the single lineup sim here in just a bit, but let's continue marching through the early games here. Minnesota, Milwaukee, Quinn Priester, and the combination of Danny Colombe and David Festa going for the Twins. 90 degrees. Crosswind, 12 to 14 miles an hour, first base to third base. Buxton, Wallner, Larnack, they're all looking like they got a lot of green on their numbers against righties this year. What do you got for the Twins, Matt?
Yeah, so another spot where I like the Twins against Priester, especially the lefties, and they've got a bunch of them, but man, I don't think they stand out in any type of way over certainly the top teams that we've talked about, but even I put them in line with the Rangers. I think the Twins and Rangers look similar. Priester's been solid. He's not a guy I'm looking to use and I'm not buying it long-term, but he hasn't had any blow-ups. His underlines aren't good. He doesn't strike guys out. I like the Twins here. Don't get me wrong. It's just, do I like them more than the Rangers or the Mariners? Are they the contrarian team I want to go to? Because I think if you're not playing Seattle, then you're different on this slate. I think Seattle is going to be crazy, crazy popular.
How old do you think Danny Colombe is?
I have no idea. Honestly, no idea.
He'll be 36.
Wow, I would not have guessed.
No, I was just looking here to get pitch count on his game logs, and that jumped out to me here. Let's see, he pitched the 19th and the 20th, so this will be his third game in 3 days. He went 15 and 3 pitches. Expect him to just close out the first inning today, and that will be it. He's only gone multiple innings once this season. That was 5 outs back in April. So there we are on that one. Does that help or hurt the Brewers in your opinion?
I mean, it doesn't help them. That's for sure. Because you're starting off with a lefty, a good one. Not a guy I'm afraid of, but whenever you start to throw in another arm in the mix, it always makes me less intrigued with the offense going against them. Doesn't take them out of play for me, but I'm not playing Milwaukee here. I don't think Festa's great, but I don't think he's a scrub either. And there's just other spots I like more.
All right. Dropping the link join promo into chat here. Nightbot has been doing that as well. But a reminder, if you guys want to get some free sims here, if you sign up for any of these operators that you don't already have an account for, click the claim offer button. You got to come in through this page. Not only do you get their deposit bonus, but if you follow these steps, 1, 2, 3, 4 steps you got to follow here, we will get you 30 days of a single sport sims package. I would pick baseball because it is going to be baseball the rest of the summer after tonight's NBA Game 7. Guys, you got to fill up my FanDuel league for me. It's half full, $3 or $2 3 max. You guys just want to pay the rig, I guess. So sad. You know what's not sad? Another warm weather situation in St. Louis, this time hot and humid, temperatures in the mid-90s, 10 to 15 mile an hour breeze out to left field. We've got Andrew Abbott on the mound. We've got Miles Michaelis on the other side here. What was it? Ellie De La Cruz had some heat exhaustion in yesterday's game. There was one other player that they had to help out. I can't remember who that was. But yes, hot and humid. Hopefully everybody is hydrating this afternoon. What do you want to do with this game? And you still feeling okay about Andrew Abbott now that you've had time to ruminate on that?
Yeah. So wait, repeat that question. Sorry, I got lost.
How are you still okay with Andrew Abbott in the pitching mix now that we've talked through a few things? It's been in the back of your mind. It's been on the back burner.
I am waiting for the tools to update, so nothing has changed for me because that hasn't happened. I'm fine with Abbott. I think he's got high upside and he's going to be lower owned than I think even his projected, but it's not like a safe spot. St. Louis doesn't, and he's expensive. So I like him. I'm not sure in my 3 lineups I'll get there though. I think he's in play. I'm not interested in stacking against him. He's been really good on the road, too. That's worth noting. I mean, and it makes sense. Like, he pitches in Cincinnati. You look at his road starts, 37 at Cleveland, 35 at the Cubs, 25 at Atlanta. He was bad in Coors, and then 36 at Baltimore. Like, he's been phenomenal on the road. I mean, outside of that Coors start. So, like, does that change anything for you?
Yes. I'm building
that's interesting to me, you know.
I'm going to hand build 7 lineups, and they can't all be Chris Bassett. So,
see, this is what I'm saying about Bassett's ownership. He's just the only guy that feels clean to put in. And I get that, but I think that his ownership is going to be, I mean, are we going to be shocked if, like, in whatever tournament you want to say, the 121, the 250, if he's like 80% owned? I won't be.
No, it's going to be 65.
Yeah. Maybe 80 is a little bit high just because the field will try to get different, but 65 to 75.
Yeah. That's crazy. Just crazy. I see Pierre's mentioning in chat. Yes, I did actually win one of those three max 100 mans yesterday. Turned $2 into $50. That's a great payout. You only have to beat 99 other people, and 2 of the entries can be yours. That same score, which I entered in some other contests, that same score only 3x'd in the GPPs. This is why these leagues are better. The more realistic chance to sustain and build your bankroll if people were to play these. But they don't, because people hate money. You should just send the money to me. But instead, I'm going to give you guys a chance to win my money. Jump in that 3-man, scroll up just a little bit. It's in there. 57 people are going to be in there with us. All right. I'm crusading one issue at a time. Our last game on DraftKings, the penultimate matchup on FanDuel. It is the Chicago Cubs hosting the Seattle Mariners. 30 runs in the last 2 games, 12 home runs, 11 other extra base hits. It's hot. It's humid. The wind is blowing out. Watch this be a 3-2 ball game, Matt. Wouldn't that be baseball being baseball? Talk to us about the Windy City matchup.
Yeah, I mean, weather isn't quite as good as yesterday, but still really, really good. You've got Colin Ray on one side, and he's not great. He doesn't miss bats. Seattle has been really good offensively on the road this year. Like, the only thing against Seattle is ownership. I mean, they're going to be really, really highly owned. They are affordable. I mean, all over, except for, I think Raleigh and Julio are the only guys over 5K. And then they got a bunch of guys like 2K, 2,500 throughout their lineup. So very easy team to stack. But they might look good enough where you just do it anyways. Contemplating that right now. A couple other teams I like a lot. The Reds, the Rangers. I think you get ownership discounts basically anywhere else you go. But, I mean, there's no denying Seattle looks like the best team here. I played them yesterday. They were good, not great. Only one home run. It was Raleigh.
Fastest to 30 home runs for a switch hitter and a catcher. Also the only catcher to reach that before the All-Star break as well.
Yeah, just wild stuff. He's been so good. He's going to be 50% owned today, and that makes sense. I kind of like Garver as a pivot, although he'll get ownership too because this whole stack will. Yeah, and the other part about Seattle is the bottom of their lineup stinks. So I like going to the bottom of lineups, but man, like, it's tough to click on Mastrobuoni and, well, really just him because Solano's been good and Canzone I like. So
yeah, Canzone's got the light tower power. He was injured earlier this year, so
Cleveland kid.
Oh, is he really?
Yeah, he's good. So I like him a lot. I think, like you said, he's got big power. Yeah, I think the Cubs are the more interesting side because if Gilbert does really get a lot of ownership, they look good. But Gilbert's really good. So how do you feel about the Cubs here?
Of my 7, I'm gonna build one Cubs stack, and then the other 143. We'll see what the Sims give me.
I mean, yeah, you've got Gilbert, this is only his second start back now in like crazy heat. Like, the Cubs, you could do a lot worse than the Cubs here. They're coming in with leverage also. I'm not buying that. Maybe as a full stack, they'll be lower owned, but the pieces will still be owned. Tucker, PCA specifically. Hap.
Yeah, Michael Busch is popping at
Bush, Hap. Right. Suzuki will probably be low owned, righty on righty, but the lefties in the top half of the lineup will get love.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. Now
just real quick, I actually don't think Gilbert ends up being. It's tricky though because there aren't good pitchers on the slate, and Seattle's so cheap that maybe Gilbert does end up being really popular. I do think a lot of the non-Gilbert lines will play Cubs.
Yes, it's gonna play out that way. Interesting. All right, Arizona. In Coors Field here, we have the starting lineups, which are good. This is FanDuel only. You can see how different the slates look because Arizona has a 27% chance of being the top stack. That's knocking Seattle down to 13% on FanDuel. You've got Antonio Senzatella, who all he does is give up base hits and ground balls. On the other side, you have Brandon Pfaadt. Brandon Pfaadt is fighting to keep his spot in the rotation and probably would have been banished to the bullpen if not for injuries. He has been very, very, very uneven this season. The Rockies are looking good against him. Mickey Moniak is batting second. That's pretty cool. Ryan McMahon gets the platoon advantage yet again today from the cleanup slot. Michael Toglia back in our lives as the switch hitter, performing with ample power from the left side of the plate here. I know that you are not playing this one on DraftKings because you do not have the special powers that allow you to put these players into your rosters over there. But for the FanDuel folks, is there anything not to like about Coors Field?
I mean, no, just that it's not Seattle. I think that, or not the Cubs game. The weather's really good there too, but it's Coors with Pfaadt, who's been atrocious against lefties, and then the gift that keeps on giving or the curse that keeps on cursing in Senzatella. I mean, he just isn't really majorly capable right now. So Zona looks like the best stack on the board. They're going to be crazy highly owned. I mean, even more than Seattle because they're in Coors against a worse pitcher. I mean, a significantly worse pitcher, but hard to get away from them here. Even last night, they only scored like 5 runs. A couple of them still got there. Suarez has been unreal. Ketel Marte. Their lineup's a little bit funky today, but I don't care. They look great.
Yeah, looking at this, they are the best value stack on FanDuel. FanDuel got a FanDuel, right? Jeez. Okay. Let's hit the afternoon slate real quick. Hopefully the tools will have updated. We've got 25 minutes until first pitch here. In the afternoon action, and a fun twist, all of the games are in California. That's my
That's
fun
interesting.
fact of the day. I was looking at that and laughing. Let's get over to the top pitchers tool here. We will look at the, what are they going to call it? I bet they call it the night slate. No. Are they going to call it the afternoon slate? Yes. There we go. So Robbie Ray, it's time to hop on the roller coaster once again. Thankfully, the sites have goosed his salary. DraftKings has him at $11,200. FanDuel, I think he's like 10-4 or something like that. 50 plus on Yahoo. He is going to be well represented in tournaments. 60% expected on DraftKings. Could be a little bit higher here. We move on. You have Lucas Giolito. Last year, he missed the entire season due to injury. Was reinforcing a UCL procedure. He had Tommy John several years ago, but he ended up missing last year. With that, the year prior, he played for 3 different teams, including your Cleveland Guardians, when he allowed the most home runs in the league. But he's in a decent pitching environment today. That is going to be helpful. In Anaheim, you've got Ryan Gusto and Kyle Hendricks going against the respective righty-heavy lineups of the Astros and Angels. So that plays a little bit into their favor. What do you have here on pitching? Obviously, Ray at the top, but there's a few paths we can travel to potential DFS glory today.
Yeah, I think there are a few different ways you can go. Ray's the top dog.
I just started to throw out. Shohei Ohtani, I believe, is going to serve as the opener today. Okay. Ben Caspias is expected to be the long reliever.
Yeah, so for me, it's Ray for sure. I think there just aren't good pitchers today, so I'm not going to pick and I'm not going to poke battles with the top dog. So it's Ray, and then, Giolito's been good the past 2 starts. He's changed a couple things, so I think he looks good. I'm not completely buying it, so I don't think it's safe, but he's fine. Gusto and Ciccone, I think, are cheaper, high upside options with a low floor. And then Lugo, low ceiling, high floor. So I think those are your 5. The one guy I think you can maybe think about is Soroka. Underlines are good. Very, very low owned. Obviously, a really tough matchup. So that's what I've got here. Just not really good options outside of Ray. And then if you want to say Giolito, sure.
All right. Dick Togo asking for an update. How many people are in my tournament now? I think there are 60 in there. So once it gets to 65 now, once it gets to 70, then people start to jump in from the regular lobby. So I would recommend hopping in that now because it's a 3 max. So that really means only 10 or 12 more people really need to join to fill that up. So we've got a pretty good chance that is going to fill. I recommend getting in there. 11% rake versus 18% and an attainable payout. $50 if you win it. It's pretty good. That's pretty good. Michael Soroka. That pains me. That pains me, Matt. Okay, let's look at the stacks here for this afternoon slate. And I did a full write-up for the top stacks and the best pitchers. I gave a couple options there in addition to Ray in the free spotlight pitchers and top stacks article that is available every single day on Stokastic. Let's see. They are going to call this the afternoon slate. So the Dodgers, the number 1 stack against Soroka. You've got your Cleveland Guardians going against JP Sears. Sears has allowed 18 home runs this season. He especially gets his ass kicked at Sutter Health Park in West Sacramento. It is going to be in the mid 80s this afternoon in West Sacramento. That is actually the warmest of our California locations today. The rest of the country is in a huge heat dome, just not California. What are you thinking here about the stacks?
Yeah, so again, because the pitching is pretty weak, bunch of good stacks here. I even think San Francisco against Giolito is not the worst play, but they don't look amazing, obviously. As much as I talked about Soroka, it's still the Dodgers. They're the top stack on the board. It's the Dodgers against a average to good, maybe righty. So yeah, the Dodgers. I don't love the Guardians against lefties, so I think you can play some of them. Lane Thomas, cheap. David Fry will get pinch hit for. They're really cheap. I'm cool with Cleveland, but I'm not like in love with them. Houston looks good against Hendricks, coming off that crazy good start against the Yankees. I think he comes back down to earth here. I would like the Royals more if they had more lefty power. Vasquez stinks against lefties. I think whatever lefties are in there, go to them. Pascantino, Caglione. A bunch of good stacks, but not one that to me is like I need to play here. Yeah, I mean, again, I'm going to call out San Fran against that Giolito ownership as a deep tournament play. If I had to pick one stack that I just wanted to be over the field on other than that, I'm going to say, oh man, it's not the Dodgers. I don't love any stack here. Sacconi's been good. I guess the Royals against Vasquez just because he stinks, but it doesn't set up as a great spot for them because he's really bad against lefties.
All right. Yeah, the interesting. You're right. For the Guardians, David Fry is the pinch hit risk. We don't have that lineup yet, do we? Gabriel Arias is like super cheap everywhere, so I like him. Why do they not like David Fry against lefties?
What do you mean against righties?
Against righties, sorry.
He's just not very good, and he's coming back from injury.
That's a shame. All right. I'm dropping the Spotlight Pitchers and Top Stacks article in here. That is free. Give that a click. It helps keep it free. What else can we talk about? Well, we've got the Stokastic Hall of Fame as we wait for the tools to update here. So if you guys go to the Stokastic homepage, in the upper right, there's the social dropdown. Click Rock the Stokastic avatar. Download one of these nifty avatars to your mobile device. Upload that to your DFS site of choice. I say mobile device. The vast majority of the sites only let you upload your logos via mobile device, but you got a bunch of cool ones you can choose from here. All you got to do is finish top 3 in any contest with at least 5,000 entries. That is first, second, or third. Tweet a screenshot showing that Stokastic avatar to Stokastic HOF on Twitter and send in the link to support@stokastic.com, and we will get you set up for 1 free month of single sport sims. You also get advanced. Look, if you do it 3 times, you get all access sims, everything. For a month, you can get into the Ring of Honor. Lofty will induct you into the Hall of Fame. And we also celebrate all wins, large and small, because we like to have positivity in this oh-so-negative world. So check that out. That is the Stokastic Hall of Fame. All right, I'm going to build out some of my single lineups here, Matt. So let's have some fun as you are working in your lineups. So chat, this is available for all of the sites we support: FanDuel, DraftKings, Yahoo, and Owner's Box. You go to the single lineup sim. You can see I built out, I went with a Seattle stack with Gilbert. So that was, and the screen doesn't quite share because of the way StreamYard is working, but you can see that's a decent 6.5% ROI, but I bet we can make that better. If we go with Bassett and we want to see what lineup it builds around him, keep in mind this is just going to put in the best ROI options. It's not going to try to force a stack, but you can see Arizona and Seattle represented in there along with Vladdy Jr. And a Kyle Tucker one-off. That looks like a pretty good lineup. I don't really feel the need to put my thumb on the scale there. So let's see how lineup 2 works out. Ooh, 22.7%. Not too shabby. Let's see. Who else did I say I was going to pitch today? We'll go with a Bryce Elder lineup next. Now, the thing when you build them out like this, it's going to keep putting the same players in because I'm not blocking more of the spots. So it's going to keep giving me Tucker. It's going to keep trying to give me the top 4 of Arizona, etc. I'm totally cool with all of that because that is the route I want to go today. For my hand-built lineups, we can see that this Elder lineup worked out to a 28%. Sometimes you'll want to be a little more creative. So let's go back to Elder here. We can say, I want Elder, but I want a little bit of an Atlanta stack. Who should we go with? The Marcell Ozuna, Remember Me? Maybe. Let's see how this one works out. And then you can see by doing this, it saves you headache. It's almost like hand building. You feel like you are participating in everything that is going on here. So that is why I can spend hours playing around with this. So it is, well, addicting. Yes, we'll use that as our word. Let's see what that gives us for Andrew Abbott. And I want to get Seattle. So we'll take Raleigh. We'll do the Raleigh Rally back up here. I said Dominic Canzone with the power. We're going to go with Polanco. Why can't I find Raleigh? So here we can go to the search function, type in the name. Oh, if we spell it correctly. Did he not make it the lineup?
Who, Cal Raleigh?
No, Luke.
Yeah, Luke Raley did not.
Oh, well, that's sad. Well, I'm going to go with the 3-man. Let's complete this here. There we go. So that is the single lineup simulator. Lots of fun. Lots of fun. It's like a blend. Ooh, see, look, that's a tough negative ROI. Now, that doesn't mean that's a bad lineup. It's just because, look, it cashes 32% of the time. It finishes top 10 4% of the time. It's just not as good as the other ones. So, all righty. Let's see what else we have here. We're up to 80 entries now in the FanDuel contest. So, hey, we get 7 more people to jump in there and we can fill out that 3 max. Let me build out 2 more lineups and then I will kick off the full sims here. We should probably go with Colorado. So let's take a look here. Beck, I believe he got a home run last night. Maybe he'll get one today. Ryan McMahon definitely in play. Freeman looks good. I'd rather go with Moniak, and then I want Taglia. And did I click too many? Yep. Let's get rid of Beck. Complete that lineup. Ooh, there's my all-contra lineup. That's going to be all contrarian, I bet, Matt. See what I did there?
I did.
How about one last Chris Bassett lineup? Who should we stack here? Oh, we didn't do Chicago. So we will do Hap, PCA, Bush. Probably should get Tucker in there. Will it give us another Alcantara lineup? I don't want that. I want a Bassett lineup because I can be a chalk donkey. So when you have to back this stuff out here, just unclick the players you don't want, and then you can do the resubmit, and it will give you the appropriate salary cap. It tucked in, still went with Arizona, but with lesser Arizona options. There we go. Great lineup. Thank you, Single Lineup Simulator. I appreciate your kindness. Let's build out the rest of our sims. Have the tools updated yet?
They have not, so I've given up hope.
I'm guessing that since we had all of the lineups before the show started, that's probably why. But sometimes they do give those one last refresh. In the meantime, I'm going to build out my FanDuel lineups. This is where we can change our settings. This is building out the representative tournament pool. This default is pretty close to actually what happens. I'm going to tweak this a little bit because I want a different representation in mind, but I'm not going to change any of the projections, any of the ownership, anything else. This is just changing the composite of what is in these potential contests here. So we'll let that run. Let's download our CSV on FanDuel. It's so freeing to only be playing one site during shows now. I should have done this before. It's just very negative ROI to be playing multiple, since they have us producing now. Just a little too much for your old pal to handle. Have all your contests filled?
Oh, they've been filled, yeah.
Yeah, it felt like they didn't size these big enough today.
Mm-mm.
Still room in the EMAC 100, man. I'm gonna be sad when that one doesn't play, because then I'm not gonna get to kick your guys' ass collectively. And I would win. I already know that. I'm giving myself the Skolansky bucks from the jump. Did you ever do poker? I never did poker.
I was never big into poker, no.
This is hilarious. I don't care for gambling, like casinos or card games or whatever. I love strategy games. I love DFS. I love people putting money in, because then they're actually trying and you're getting the best of the best. But funny enough, never got into gambling. Did get into the stock market early as a kid. That was fortuitous, to say the least. But had my dad set up an account for me so I could make purchases with my 401k, my IRA that I started when I was 16. Yeah, I'm a nerd, but I'm also a nerd that doesn't have to work. So let's see what we got for our 150 lineups here. If we just take what is going, spitting out here, Logan Gilbert, 32%, Alcantara, 15, Elder, 14, Bassett coming in under the field. That makes sense because he is a little bit over-owned. I didn't build out a Chicago stack. So what I can do here is on the ROI boosts. Now, we don't need to do major ROI boosts. We'll just do some little ones here. But we can look to those lefties and give them a couple of love taps here for the White Sox. And I'm glad we don't have weather issues today. That is helpful. We are going to say Andrew Benintendi. Oh, look at that. He's not even appearing in my lineups. So we got Andrew Benintendi. We've got, let's go with Vargas, even though he is a righty, also not showing up. That's a shame. And then let's go with Teal. See if we can get those guys into a couple lineups. If we can't, then we still have our secret weapon, and that is, we made one lineup with them. Really? Well, we're just going to quickly make one extra lineup here in the single lineup sim, because that is how we have technology working for us. Benintendi, Vargas, where's Teal? Complete this lineup. Let's see what that would sim out as, and then we will upload all of these. So, negative 29%. No wonder it doesn't want to give me that. All righty. Share this tab instead. Go with that. Chat, any questions here as we have 7 minutes left? We don't need a lesson every slate. You know what my number one questions are? The number one questions we all get. How do I use the Sims? How do you use the Sims? Show me how to use the Sims. And even though we have all of these available videos and instructional guides and everything, people just want to know how to use them. So we're taking this opportunity for the weekend crew to see this. If you have other questions, I will happily answer them. So let's jump on in here. with those. Kelly, you get the first crack, my friend. Fire away. Let's see. I'm going to upload these. Who do you think wins the tournament tonight? The tournament, the finals, the NBA finals.
It's hard to pick against OKC. I mean, at home, they're the better team. But I feel like if this playoffs has shown anything, it's that, India is never out of it. So I mean, they're here. Like, they're here in Game 7. And OKC hasn't looked like a juggernaut in this series. So I expect OKC to win, but I think anything's on the table. And I think the last Game 7 we had was Cleveland Golden State. So good vibes over here for Game 7s.
So we have 142. So this is the 20th ever Game 7 in the NBA Finals. We have each team has lost 7 games in the finals. I believe each team has now played 22 games. They played the same number of games. The overall spread in this series is just, I think it was 6 points to Golden State's advantage, which is interesting. It's just, I don't know what to expect, which is making this game so exciting, in my opinion. I'm beside myself. Literally, if you could see next to me off camera, there's another me sitting next to me. That's a little meta for you. All right, 5 minutes to go. Let's answer questions if we got them. Never seen someone. Oh, there we go, Ben. Never seen someone go through the Sims like this. Very insightful, Papa Emac. So Greg has some great videos that he goes through these. When we get to NBA, Greg and Laffy do a show every week going over the Sims. This is a very powerful tool. You need to understand when you're tweaking stuff, you don't want to go overboard because it's the IKB. I know better. I don't know because this is simming out these contests tens of thousands of times. The whole data team is constantly refining and tweaking these, back testing them, etc. It's something that's fun. You want to harness this for good, and then you can use your money for evil purposes when you win. That's usually what Matt does. Now that he's married, it's only blow. It used to be hookers and blow.
Yeah, man, I wish. I can close my eyes and go back to that time, but that's about all I can do these days.
Coulda, woulda, shoulda. All right. No questions. All right. Doug Dubs says, yes, it is addictive. It's for baseball. I really enjoy it because you can get, and I know you use the single lineup sim a fair amount too. You can look at concepts. Right, you can say, okay, what if I put these two stacks together? What does it then say the best pitcher is? Or if I do this pitcher on DraftKings and this sub stack, what does it give me around this? Does it push another stack? Does it give me a bunch of one-offs, etc.? These are the things that are interesting to learn and understand. We have found out that having the Corbin Carrolls and Judge, etc., Otani's just make your lineups that much better. I mean, the crazy concept. The best players play even more of them. That's what this is showing, especially for baseball. And that's something that's interesting. Oh, the dong of the day. How could we not do the dong of the day? Well, in honor of the dong of the day, Matt, who is your early slate dong of the day?
O'Neal Cruz.
O'Neal Cruz. I like that. I like that a lot. I'm going to go with Andrew Benintendi for the early one. In the afternoon, Rafael Devers got his welcome to my new city, bitches, dong yesterday. Didn't you call that one out too?
Who?
Devers yesterday?
Oh, yeah, I did. That was my home run call, Devers.
Yeah.
So it's one thing I got right. Thank you.
Let's see. For the afternoon home run, I am going to go to CJ Abrams. There we go. And with that, gamers, we are up at lock. Hit the like button. We appreciate that. Helps us do battle with the YouTube algorithms here. Don't forget the NBA Finals live before lock is at 7:30 tonight with Josh Engelman. He also did a strategy show this morning. That is available on the YouTube channel as well as being out in podcast form. Have a good Sunday, everybody. It is Sunday Fun Day. Let's enjoy it. Be safe, be sane, and be nice to each other. With that, gamers, good luck.